has Treasury, including FinCEN or federal banking agencies like the Fed, FDIC, OCC, instructed financial institutions to search Americans' legal transactions in attempts to surveil their purchases?
Well, we received a letter from you, I believe, on this topic, and we intend to investigate fully and to respond.
Are they instructing, ma'am, financial institutions to search Americans' legal transactions in attempts to surveil their purchases?
I promise a thorough look into everything.
Well, this is really concerning.
Yeah, you think? Well, why would any of us ever suspect malign motives on the part of this administration? It's not like they've ever given us any reason to doubt their good faith, not surrounding January 6th, not in targeting parents or traditional Catholics. Well, according to the House Judiciary Committee, federal investigators asked banks to search and filter customer transactions using terms like MAGA and Trump as part of a January 6th investigation. Banks were also warned that an extremism indicator could be the purchase of books, including religious texts. Look out for that Bible. Like the Bible, of course, subscriptions to certain media containing extremist views. Joining me now, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator, this is so tailor-made for you. This is so typical. First of all, the fact that Janet Yellen is our Treasury Secretary, in and of itself is terrifying to me. But what about this? What can we do?
This would be bad enough if this were brand new, but this has been going on really since 9/11. This isn't the first time they've targeted people for religious beliefs. Many people warned, my father, key among them, warned that when we were going to go after terrorism,
Patriot Act,
we were going to go after terrorists with the Patriot Act, that it would also go after Americans. And inevitably, what they said was going to be used on terrorists would be used on Americans. But even going back to 9/11 days, right after 9/11 with the Patriot Act, there were people who were being targeted for pro-life views, pro-life bumper stickers, Constitution Party, pro-gun bumper stickers, Ron Paul supporters. This was way back in the early days after this.
It's been ramped up though now, don't you think? I mean, after January 6th, this was ramped up.
They've become more sophisticated with it. But we need to oppose this because ultimately, if there's a justice system that basically uses all the tools of government to go after people based on their ideology, that's going to lead to strife in our country.
But we always complain about this, and the only thing that matters to them is defunding the surveillance state, defunding it, saying, you keep doing this, no more money.
But the other thing is it's intertwined with also the abuse of FISA.
Yep.
So what I've said with FISA went after
Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act.
They went after Donald Trump's campaign illegally. They didn't use the Fourth Amendment. They didn't use the public courts. They used secret courts, and they didn't use the same standard of the Fourth Amendment. I've said the FISA courts shouldn't be used on Americans. It's called the Foreign Intelligence Courts. Let's go after foreigners, but not Americans.
Let's pivot to the border bill, which we buried it, and we had the funeral and the memorial service today. What were you hearing behind the scenes? Apparently, there was some consternation about a certain commentator or commentators and what we might be saying about it.
Yeah. From the beginning, I think this has been a ruse. It hasn't ever really been about the border. That was a token. That was a bone that was going to be thrown to conservatives. But they were always worried that if conservatives got wind that it was a ruse, that it wasn't a real border reform, if people like Laura Ingraham or Hannity somehow got wind of this, that you would discuss the bill, look at the bill, and that it would be destroyed. So the game all along was to keep this in secret from us, but also in the secret from anybody that might look at it and might criticize it. This was an organized plan from the very beginning from our leadership to keep this out of the hands of any conservatives that might criticize the bill.
Well, we got our hands on it, and then they said it was internet rumors. Langford kept saying these are internet rumors. And then you open up the bill, it says 5,000 people could go.
Yeah, it's going to be an emergency after 5,000. What about an emergency after 700,000 people already came in the last 2 months?
How about 5 if one of them is on the terror watch list? Senator, moving on. Senator McConnell was asked about the criticism that he's faced over this disaster of a bill. He told Politico, I've had a small group of persistent critics this whole time I've been in the job. The reason we've been talking about the border is because the persistent critics wanted to. You can't pass a bill without dealing with a Democratic president and Democratic Senate. What of that? I mean, the Democrats seem to get a lot done when they have a Republican president and a Republican Senate.
He's completely out of touch with Kentucky Republicans, with conservative Republicans, advocating for all this money to go to Ukraine. We're not for that. I mean, nobody in Kentucky is for that. His approval ratings in Kentucky are almost below zero. They are the lowest of any elected official in the United States. He is working with Biden and Schumer to funnel your money to Ukraine. but he's not working with conservatives. So he is in the minority of his caucus. There's maybe 10 of them that will vote with all of the Democrats.
Oh, you're just a persistent critic.
He is using the minority of the big government Republicans up here to work with Democrats to send your money to Ukraine.
If Governor Beshear ran for his Senate seat and the election were held tomorrow, who would win?
Beshear.
By a lot.
Yeah.
He's a popular governor. Senator, great to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.